Fort Myers, also known as the City of Palms, has beautiful beaches, affordability, and amazing weather patterns. However, it still faces challenges that the glossy tourism brochures don't always cover. Let's cover the pros and cons of this Gulf Coast gem. Let's start with one of the most compelling reasons people are drawn to Fort Myers, and that's the beaches. Fort Myers offers access to some of the most spectacular coastal areas in the entire country, and this isn't just marketing hype. The city provides year-round access to pristine shores like Fort Myers Beach and the tranquil waters of Sanibel Island, and these aren't your typical crowded tourist traps. Fort Myers Beach itself stretches for 7 miles of white sand, meaning the calm Gulf of Mexico waters, creating this kind of postcard-perfect scenery that initially draws people to Florida in the first place. Nature lovers can explore areas like 6 Mile Cypress Sloop Preserve and Calusa Nature Center to experience Florida's diverse ecosystems, which means you're not just getting beach access, but also opportunities to see authentic Florida wildlife and natural preserves. Beyond Fort Myers Beach, you have easy access to Sanibel Island, famous worldwide for its shelling opportunities, and Captiva Island, with its laid-back island charm. If you're willing to drive a bit further south, you can reach Bonito Beach, Naples, and even Marco Island. The variety of coastal experiences available within a short drive is genuinely impressive and represents one of the strongest arguments for choosing Fort Myers as your home base. Now, before you start packing your beach towels, I need to be honest about a significant drawback when it comes to beach access. Unless you actually live on a beach, accessing Fort Myers Beach is not easy, with only one bridge connecting Fort Myers proper to the northern end of Fort Myers Beach. This creates a bottleneck situation that can turn a simple beach trip into a time-consuming ordeal, especially during peak season. If you're coming from other parts of Fort Myers and want to access the beach from the south, you need to route through Bonita Beach first, add a considerable drive time to your journey. That means that while Fort Myers markets itself heavily on beach lifestyle, the practical reality of actually getting to those beaches on a regular basis can be frustrating if you're not living directly on the coast. The traffic congestion on a single bridge, particularly on a beautiful weekend day when everyone has the same idea, can test your patience and make spontaneous beach trips less appealing than you might imagine. Let's talk about the weather, because this is generally one of the defining features of life in Fort Myers, and it cuts both ways. Fort Myers enjoys an average of over 230 sunny days per year, with winter temperatures typically hovering in the 60s and 70s, which means no snow shoveling, no scraping ice off windshields, and the ability to enjoy outdoor activities practically year-round. The area features a humid subtropical climate with temperatures remaining mostly warm and sunny in the 70s and 80s throughout the year. This is weather that makes Fort Myers so appealing to snowbirds and retirees from northern states who are tired of harsh winters. You can send pictures of palm trees to your friends up north while you're dealing with blizzards, and a psychological boost of sunshine and warmth shouldn't be underestimated when it comes to the quality of life and mental health. The ability to maintain an active outdoor lifestyle without winter temperatures is a genuine advantage that affects everything from fitness routines to social activities. However, the winter story has a darker side that you absolutely must consider seriously. Hurricane season runs between June and November, which is quite a large window for potential severe weather, and Fort Myers sits in a high-risk hurricane zone. This isn't a theoretical concern or distant possibility. Fort Myers and the surrounding area have experienced devastating hurricane impacts, including Hurricane Ian in 2022, which caused catastrophic damage to the region. Living in Fort Myers means dealing with added expenses like stormproofing homes, maintaining emergency supplies, and dealing with occasional evacuations. These aren't minor inconveniences. They're significant lifestyle adjustments that require ongoing preparation, vigilance, and financial investment. You need to install impact windows, maintain hurricane shutters, keep emergency supplies stocked, track weather patterns during hurricane season, have evacuation plans in place, and deal with the stress and anxiety that comes with severe weather threats. Beyond hurricanes, the subtropical climate brings high humidity, with summers that can feel stifling as sticky conditions persist for months. This isn't just about feeling a bit warm. The humidity in Fort Myers during summer months is oppressive, creating an environment where you rely heavily on air conditioning and indoor spaces, which drives up your utility bills considerably. The romance of tropical living definitely has a reality check when you experience your first full Florida summer. One of the strongest selling points for Fort Myers is its affordability compared to other parts of Florida, and this is a real advantage worth examining closer. The cost of living in Fort Myers is only 1% higher than the Florida average and equals to the national average, making it much more affordable than cities like Miami and Fort Lauderdale, which are 14% and 17% higher than the national average respectively. What this means in practical terms is that Fort Myers offers you the opportunity to experience coastal Florida living without the premium prices you may pay in more famous cities. Housing in Fort Myers is also less expensive, with prices averaging 8% lower than the Florida state average and 12% lower than the national average. For people relocating from expensive markets or looking to maximize their retirement dollars, this affordability factor is significant and can make the difference between comfortable living and financial stress. Fort Myers offers relative affordable housing options with home prices below the national median of $433,229. You can find everything from waterfront properties to cozy suburban houses across various price points. There's genuine variety in the housing market here, from single-family homes to condominiums and apartments, giving you options to match different budgets and lifestyle preferences. Adding to the financial appeal, Florida does not levy a state income tax, which translates into major savings, particularly for retirees on fixed incomes or business owners managing their own payroll. This tax advantage means you're keeping more of what you earn, whether that's from work, investments, or pension income. The combination of affordable housing and no state income tax creates a genuine, attractive financial picture that explains why so many people are relocating to Fort Myers from higher cost, higher tax states. However, I need to balance this with an important caveat. Property insurance costs across Florida have been rising due to hurricane risk and changing insurance policies, which means homeowners need to budget carefully and factor those increasing costs into their long-term financial planning. What you save on income tax might be partially offset by higher insurance premiums, particularly if you're purchasing property in flood-prone or coastal areas. The financial equation isn't as simple as just comparing home prices. You need to look at the total cost of ownership, including insurance, hurricane preparation, and higher summer utility bills for air conditioning. Fort Myers has established itself as an excellent location for retirees, and this isn't just a marketing spin. Fort Myers is ranked among the best places to retire in Florida, with a large population of residents aged 55 and up, creating a community tailored towards the needs of retirees. The Lee Health System is the largest healthcare provider in the area, with great hospitals like Lee Memorial Hospital and Gulf Coast Medical Center ranking among the best hospitals in Florida. Quality healthcare access is crucial for retirees, and Fort Myers delivers on this front with comprehensive medical facilities and services. Aging residences have citywide access to resources like the Elder Helpline, health and wellness workshops, and respite care through the Area Agency on Aging for Southwest Florida, which demonstrates a community infrastructure that genuinely supports older residences. Beyond the practical healthcare aspects, Fort Myers offers the lifestyle elements that retirees value, such as golf courses, cultural activities, adventures like the Edison and Ford Winter Estates, family-friendly amenities like the Imaginarium Science Center, and a generally slower pace of life that appeals to people looking to enjoy their golden years without big city stress. The job market in Fort Myers represents a mixed picture that you need to understand clearly if you're relocating for work rather than retirement. On the positive side, Fort Myers has a fast-growing job market with low employment rates, providing ample job opportunities at major area employers like clothing retailer Chico's, Publix, and Fox Electronics. The city is experiencing economic growth, particularly in healthcare, education, and tourism sectors, with various positions available at local hospitals, schools, and hospitality businesses. The presence of Florida Gulf Coast University as an educational component to the economy and provides both employment opportunities and educational resources for residences. However, here's a reality check you need to hear. Fort Myers is not known as a commercial or industrial center, meaning that there aren't many higher paying jobs in business, finance, or industry, and a median household income is nearly 1/3 less than the national median household income. This lower income reality stems partly from the local economy's heavy reliance on hospitality, tourism, retail, and service industries, which typically offers lower wages than professional or corporate positions. If you're a young professional in fields like tech, finance, or corporate management, Fort Myers may not provide the career advancement opportunities or salary potential you'll find in larger metropolitan areas. The job market here is functional and growing, but is oriented more towards service industries, healthcare, education, and retail rather than high-paying professional sectors. Transportation and infrastructure in Fort Myers requires honest discussion because they significantly impact daily life quality. Getting around Fort Myers without a car is difficult as the public transportation system is limited with few bus routes and long wait times, making vehicle ownership almost essential. This isn't a walkable city with comprehensive public transport like you might find in major northern cities. You're going to need a car for virtually everything: grocery shopping, getting to work, medical appointments, entertainment, and certainly for beach access. The city is spread out, and while there's some bus routes, they may not cover all the areas you need to reach, so driving is often the most convenient option. This car-dependent reality means budgeting for vehicle purchase, insurance, maintenance, and fuel as essential costs of Fort Myers living. On a positive side, Fort Myers benefits from having quick access to Southwest Florida International Airport with its code RSW, which serves all of Southwest Florida with easy security and convenient access. The airport is so efficient that luggage is typically coming out of the boat as you walk downstairs to pick it up, making travel in and out of the region remarkably smooth move compared to larger, more congested airports. However, traffic congestion is a real problem you'll face. During winter months and tourist season, traffic becomes heavy, with the average commute taking about 27 minutes by varying significantly based on time of day and congestion. Traffic congestion is one of the negative aspects of Fort Myers, as it is in most metropolitan areas and big cities throughout Florida. The seasonal population surge when snowbirds arrive creates noticeably heavier traffic that tests local infrastructure and can turn simple errands into time-consuming frustrations. Cultural life and entertainment in Fort Myers offers more than you might expect from a mid-sized Florida city, though it doesn't match larger metropolitan areas. Fort Myers boasts a rich historical background with attractions like the Edison and Ford Winter Estates, along with art galleries, theaters, and museums that offer glimpses into the vibrant art and cultural scene. The Edison and Ford Estates are generally fascinating, offering tours through the winter homes and gardens, two of America's greatest inventors, and its historical connection gives Fort Myers a cultural depth that's unexpected. Art walks, historical estates, waterfront dining, and seasonal festivals keep the calendar full, with a creative pulse that adds depth to this coastal town. The downtown area has been growing and developing with new restaurants and shops, and entertainment venues that create a small town feel with increasing sophistication. However, you might need to manage your expectations. If you enjoy buzzing nightlife, Fort Myers might fall short, as the city lacks a thriving nightlife scene of larger Florida cities, with only some bars and restaurants available. Fort Myers isn't Miami or Tampa when it comes to late night entertainment, clubs, or diverse nightlife options. This is more of a family-oriented, early-to-bed community where their entertainment focuses on outdoor activities, casual dining, and cultural events rather than high-energy nightlife. For families considering Fort Myers, there are both strong advantages and important considerations to weigh carefully. Fort Myers has become a favorite for growing families and multi-generational households with parks, splash pads, and community events that keep boredom at bay and connection top of mind. The city offers family-friendly activities, including the Imaginarium, Science Center, and parks throughout the area, with a community-oriented atmosphere appealing for families looking to settle long-term. The focus on outdoor activities and community events creates an environment where kids could grow up with beach access, nature exploration, and year-round sunshine supporting an active lifestyle. Fort Myers has access to quality education with Florida Gulf Coast University and several reputable public schools nearby, with FGCU offering diverse academic programs. Fort Myers is considered a safe place to live where crime rates lower than the national average, though most reports incidents involve theft or property crime rather than violent crime. A safety factor, combined with family-friendly amenities and outdoor lifestyle opportunities, creates an appealing environment for raising children. However, families need to seriously consider the hurricane preparation aspect and what that means for children experiencing evacuation situations, the disruption to schooling during hurricane seasons, and the stress these weather events create for young people. Let's address some final practical considerations that don't always make the highlight reel, but matter significantly for daily living. A humid climate leads to higher utility bills during summer months, as residents rely heavily on air conditioning to stay comfortable, making the summer season more expensive for many households. This isn't a minor cost increase. Air conditioning becomes a necessity rather than a luxury during the brutal summer months, and those utility bills can shock newcomers who aren't prepared for the expense. Fort Myers is home to wildlife including snakes, alligators, bears, and rodents that live in and around the area too, which is part of living in this wild and remote area of South Florida, where people relocating from urban environments dealing with genuine wildlife encounters requires adjustments and awareness that this is authentic Florida with all the creatures that entails. During winter season through spring break, there are dozens of tourists and snowbirds that descend on the area, which dramatically changes the character of Fort Myers. The population surge brings both economic benefits and challenges, including restaurant wait times, crowded attractions, heavier traffic, and a different community feel during peak season versus the quieter summer months when many seasonal residents return north. So what's the bottom line on Fort Myers? This Gulf Coast city offers genuine advantages, including spectacular beach access, affordable cost of living compared to other Florida coastal areas, no state income tax, excellent healthcare infrastructure for retirees, beautiful year-round weather during the non-summer months, and a relaxed pace of life that many people find appealing after years in more hectic environments. Fort Myers strikes a healthy balance between small town feel and big city convenience, with a walkable downtown, nearby golf courses, waterfront homes, and a growing economy. For retirees, families seeking a different lifestyle, or anyone drawn to coastal living with sunshine and outdoor activities, Fort Myers delivers real value and quality of life. However, you cannot ignore the significant challenges. Hurricane risk is real, serious, and requires ongoing preparation and financial investment. Summer weather is oppressively hot and humid, driving up utility costs and limiting outdoor activities during peak heat. Traffic congestion during tourist season tests patience. Limited public transportation means car ownership is essential. The job market lacks high-paying professional opportunities in many sectors. Beach access, while wonderful, isn't as convenient as you might imagine if you don't live directly on the coast. Insurance costs are rising. Seasonal population swings create dramatic changes in community character and infrastructure demands. Fort Myers is not for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. This is the place that rewards people who prioritize outdoor lifestyle, sunshine, affordable coastal living, and a slower pace over career advancement, urban amenities, nightlife variety, and four-season climate diversity. It's ideal for retirees who already built their careers and want to enjoy sunshine and leisure. It works well for families willing to adapt to hurricane season realities in exchange for year-round outdoor activities and beach lifestyle. It appeals to remote workers who earn higher salaries from companies in expensive markets while living in affordable Fort Myers. But it's probably not the best choice for ambitious young professionals in many career fields, people who can't tolerate heat and humidity, those who want vibrant nightlife and urban sophistication, or anyone unable or unwilling to deal with serious hurricane preparation and risk. The key to making the right decision about Fort Myers is honest self-assessment about what you truly value and what trade-offs you're willing to accept. Visit during both tourist season and summer to experience both extremes. Talk to locals about hurricane preparation realities. Drive around during rush hour to understand traffic patterns. Calculate the total cost of living including insurance and utilities, not just housing prices. Research job opportunities in your specific field. Spend time at the beaches during different seasons to see what access really looks like. Fort Myers is rapidly attracting new residents, and for good reason. By understanding its pros and cons, you can make informed decisions about whether Fort Myers is the right move for your specific situation, value, and goals. If you'd like to learn more about the pros and cons of Southwest Florida, click the videos on your screen right now. Thanks for watching.